It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Hey, my friends, thanks for tuning in to Sam Lesante Show. So I want to ask you a question again, folks. For those of you who are living in the city of Hazleton, I'm going to ask you this. Is the city of Hazleton safe? Okay, now we're talking about Hazleton. Now, what does that have to do with Pottsville and Monroe City and Frackville and Mountaintop and Wilkes-Barre and all the different areas that we show? Has a lot to do with it, okay? There's an opportunity here in Hazleton where there has been certain things done, and hopefully that it could become contagious, and I'm sure everyone's doing the best that they can. But I thought I'd bring Chief Jerry Speziale in, who's the Hazleton Police Chief, and discuss about some of the visions. You remember his vision when he first came here, some of the things he wanted to do? Well, we're going to talk about that. So my question to you, Chief, and first of all, thanks for coming on the show.
My pleasure, Sam. Always a pleasure.
I know you're a busy guy, and you were away for a while, and that's good. Okay, how was your vacation?
Vacation was great.
Yeah.
Had 5 days with the kids and the family.
Oh, man, you had a good
was
time.
outstanding.
All right, so is the city of Hazleton safe?
Yes, it is. The city of Hazleton is safe, but what you have to realize is you can't gauge how safe someone feels or perceives the city to be safe. Because if you don't feel safe in your home or your neighborhood, then it's not safe to you. We can show you statistics, but you can't quantify the things that don't occur. You know, the woman that didn't get robbed, the crimes that we did prevent. Those are all things that help make, you know, that perception of safety better, because you're not reporting about robberies and burglaries and crimes that occur. But we need to continue to keep preventing crimes before they occur. And then that message will transcend to the public that yes, it is safe. You know, they have to realize what you had and where you are today, you know, and you have to continuously, you know, relentless follow-up is really key to policing.
So let's talk about that prevention factor. Okay,
Sure.
I remember coming on board. I think even when Chief DeAndrea was there, was the chief, pleading for more cops, more
Sure.
cops. Okay, so here is what happened. At least what I could see here, having being an owner in the city of Hazleton, you needed more cops. Okay, so and that word prevention is key.
Correct.
So first of all, where is crime now? How much has it dropped?
I would say we were at 26%. I haven't measured it since then.
Ballpark.
But I would say we're probably holding our own, if not doing better. Because what we're doing is we're using evidence-based policing. We're using 21st century policing. What is that? I just sent a memo out today. The officers have to now get out of their cars and fill out a sheet called Cooper's Curve. What Cooper's Curve does is it puts police officers in different neighborhoods out on foot patrol for different intervals, whether it's 12 minutes, whether it's 15 minutes, whether it's 30 minutes. And then they have to check off how many community contacts, how many times they meet with the public, whether they were positive or negative. You know, the streets that they went to. They have to go to St. Joe's to make sure nobody's living in there. There's different hotspots and problem areas that they go to every day. And by doing that, police officers continuously rotate and walk throughout the entire city. And not only do we have foot patrol, but we have now vehicular patrol. So combining that together with this Cooper's Curve actually helps prevent crime because it gives a bigger omnipresence of police officers on the street.
Now, since you've been in, you have added how many cops?
Since I've been in, I've added 3. I added 3 last year and 6 this year. So, but that was replacements.
Okay.
So we're now right up to probably somewhere around 41, 42 police officers, including myself.
All right, so since you've done that, okay, I know that when you hit the patrol, you know, you're still patrolling the streets?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so some people in Hazleton, there are some areas where, you know, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, these people are having parties, okay? Not having any respect for their neighbors, loud, et cetera, et cetera. What are you doing about that?
Zero tolerance.
Okay.
So what we've been doing is I was able to get a grant, a JAG grant, which is a Justice Assistance Grant. And I did it with Wilkes-Barre. So we each get a pot of money to do saturation patrols and operations throughout the city. We do them at different intervals so that the criminal element never knows. And basically what we have is this operation pressure point with saturated patrols. So we will go out there with, the regular patrol shift plus additional, plus we'll bring in counterparts from the outside, and we'll do different operations throughout the city, from quality of life to drugs to crime to whatever it is, motor vehicle, all different aspects of people that are coming into the city to break the law. My message was crystal clear. If you think you're coming here to break the law, don't get off at Route 80. Keep driving, because if you come here, we're going to do everything in our power to make sure if you're here to disrupt the quality of life of the citizens of Hazleton, we're going to lock you up and we're going to put you in jail.
How has that been working for the city of Hazleton with the patrols walking the streets and going to different areas?
It's been going great. I mean, it's been very, very well. I look at the sheets because I have to put them in my mailbox. So I'll look at those sheets and I'll see, okay, they were on Walter Street and they were from this street to this street and they spent this many minutes and then they went to, downtown, or they went to Broad Street, they went to wherever they went. I get to see those streets. There's so many different hot spots that are on there, whether they're on Diamond Ave. When I get to see that, I get to see how many community contacts. We did one operation 2 weekends ago after we had announced the grant funding and pressure point. We made 300 contacts that evening.
Give me a description of a contact. What
a
is
contact could be anything from seeing you walking down Broad Street and I'm walking on foot patrol and I say, hi, I'm Officer Speziale. How you doing? Is there anything I could do for you? It's that community contact. Or it could be us going into a bar and checking for underage drinking. Or it could be, somebody's disrupting outside with noise or in the streets. Could be a motor vehicle stop. Those are all community contacts, and we put either positive or negative. The positive ones are obviously those handshakes, talking to the community, asking for their input,
Yes.
Asking what they need. How are we doing?
And this would be the best opportunity for a person to say, well, listen, let me tell you, every night there's this happening or there's
Absolutely.
that. So you're getting all this kind of
Getting
information.
feedback,
Yeah.
getting leads,
Yeah.
Getting information about what's going on in a specific area.
So out of the 300 contacts that you had, what did you get out of that?
What we did out of that, there were a number of citations, a number of vehicles were towed. There were a number of people that were involved with drugs. There was a nuisance home that was over on the south side that just has become such a nuisance to the neighbors that we wiped that area clean. Anybody that was coming or going, that was it. It was a problem. People were being charged, whether it was with the city ordinance for drug paraphernalia or whether it was drugs and you were being charged criminally through the courts. And that's how we continuously do it. You have to look at the broken windows theory, because that works. When I was out there that night with them. Well, they were doing a bar. And then the bar owner came out, and says, well, yeah, the music's loud, but we're not bothering nobody. No, you're not. We need the music to be down because you are bothering the people across the street. And by the way, I'm not the sanitation police, but look in front of your building. It's a filthy mess. Well, yeah, people come out of the bar and they leave cups. It's unacceptable. This is your place of business. Take some pride. Because that leads to bigger crimes. Because if an area, it's just proven that if you see an area that is loaded with garbage and not taken care of, what do you think? Who cares about this place?
I think the message that's being sent, okay, there's no question in my mind, okay, the message is being sent to the community that there is no tolerance here.
Absolutely.
And if they think they're getting away with something, they're going to get it. Because I think the contacts and the people that are able to tell you this is going, now, and you know what else it does, Jerry? It also opens up that, feel-good feeling that, I could call the cops because I see them.
Yeah, your friend, you have that now, that legitimacy
Right.
and that community collaboration and relationship building.
Right.
That's what this is all about.
Yes.
This is about you seeing us as legitimate and realizing we're going to do the job for you. You know, it works on all fronts. This is, you know, this is nothing new. This was used 100 years ago. We just keep cycling back and call it something different. But reality is, if we're out there and we show our presence and we communicate and work with the community, that will unleash the power of the many. So we can both, the community and us, do what we have to do to...
So when a company has a product that's successful, what they do with that product is that they continue to manufacture it and they continue to promote it.
Sure.
They don't bury it. They don't say, okay, fine. So what I'm relating to is that when you're the police department, you have been able to show successes from day one. Okay, there's been a lot of success.
Yes.
So now what I would think is that you should get community support.
Correct.
And also political support, which is what comes from the mayor and the councilman, okay? Yes. Nothing wrong with constructive criticism.
Absolutely
Believe me, nothing. But when it gets to the point where it's a political thing, and this is where I see you've done a tremendous success, because you put the politics aside, Jerry.
I base my decisions on solid police principles, not politics.
And that's fantastic.
That's what needs to be done.
Yeah, and I think that people are beginning to see that, okay? I have not, when you're on the show, I have not, anyone, okay, has ever said to me, you know, oh, that Speziale, it's always been complimentary towards what you're doing for the police.
Thank you.
But
I appreciate that.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing, Jerry. Your force, your police department is second to none.
Absolutely. Some of the most talented individuals I've ever had the opportunity to lead. I mean, they are really, you know, Hazleton residents should realize these are a talented group of individuals truly dedicated to the welfare of the citizens. I mean, they're phenomenal. I ask them, you know, think about it. I'm asking them to get out and walk. I'm asking them to do things that they didn't have to do. You know, they could just sit in a car and ride. But now they're getting out, they're walking, they're going to St. Joe's and looking for people that are trying to coop in there and sleep and, you know, create, you know, an unhealthy environment. That's a quality of life. They're doing it. So I have to be thankful and grateful because they're great cops.
You said the word dedication.
Dedicated.
I mean, that's,
absolutely.
Forget the pay, it's the dedication.
Absolutely.
When we come back after break, I want to talk about technology. I want to talk about, here again, how we can help in the city with the police department. And is we continuing with your walks. Folks, I'm talking to Chief Jerry Speziale. And once again, I'm saying something that is, if you live in Hazleton, believe me, it's been just getting better and better. Now, as he said, it's your connotation of being safe. I know there are still people, a few of them, that still say, oh, I'm not going downtown, I'm afraid, which is totally nonsense. I'll tell you right now, folks. I mean, God forbid something should happen, but this Broad Street, Wyoming Street, I mean, it's no problem whatsoever. Now, folks, the app, our app. There are many of you who say, oh, you had Chief Jerry Speziale on your show. Yes, well, you know, I missed it. Well, you don't have to miss it anymore. If you download our app, SSP TV, search SSP TV, all the shows are here. You hit the Sam Lesante Show and you'll see every show I've done. You'll see Jerry Speziale, you'll see the show. So for those of you who do not have cable, you should have cable, but for those of you who live out of town, you can use our app. We'll be back right after this. Hey folks, thanks for staying with us. I'm Sam Lesante, watching the Sam Lesante Show. A couple things, homework I want to do here. I mentioned a few of my shows. I have the opportunity of inviting people to come on the show, politicians, so they can report to you as to what they're doing. And I want to thank all those politicians. There are some trying to get the Schuylkill County Commissioners on. Hopefully we're going to get them to come on to report. There's a lot of great things happening in Schuylkill County, but I have been trying to get them for 5 months, folks, just so you know that. But I want to thank those people who are come on because they report to you. Remember, ssptv.com. You can go watch all of our shows, as well as if you want to watch every show, plus we stream our shows as SSP TV. Search SSP TV and get our app. My email, sam@ssptv.com. How safe is the city of Hazleton? Our Hazleton Chief Police, Jerry Speziale, is here, and he says it is safe, but again, it's your connotation of being safe.
Correct.
I mentioned to you before, Jerry, there are some people who live not in Hazleton, and when you mentioned, oh, I'm not going downtown Hazleton, okay? Why is that such a I mean, I can understand they said
it goes to the perception
Yeah.
because, you know, for a while there, people were, you know, heard about different things that have happened. So they automatically think that it's continuing to happen. Downtown is a safe area. We keep this area under wraps. We have patrol officers in the area. We have people on foot. You know, we have undercovers in the area. We have a good police department that is, you know, broken up throughout this community. And we have our eyes and ears on the ground, and we have boots on the ground.
that's important. Now, let's talk about your grants and how important they are to the city.
Well, the grants, like I said, we have a justice assistance grant we wrote with Wilkes-Barre City. So they get a portion, because they're a little larger than us, they get a bigger portion, and I get about $11,000. With that $11,000, that's how I'm able to do those saturated patrols, you know, put people out there, do major operations throughout the summer months, you know, all the way into the winter, so that I can keep, you know, a good grip on preventing crimes from happening and making that safe environment for the people that, you know, want to come and shop and come through the downtown area or come anywhere in the city of Hazleton.
How much have you received in grant money?
You know,
Ballpark
oh God, I would say over $1 million.
in grant money.
In grant
Okay.
money.
All right. So now, when you're doing a drug bust, all right, and you hear $50,000 worth of drugs,
Right.
then you see all this cash, and you see all the. What happens? Where's
That money we don't get. You know, we get money from the Drug Enforcement Administration, the federal entities. We will get it from the Department of Homeland Security. We'll get it from Treasury. But we'll get a good share of that, and I can use that for equipment. I can't use it for salaries. I can only use it for non-budgeted items, vehicles, things of that nature. Also, technology, which we've just
We're going to talk about.
we went up with new technology. But also what I can do is the money that gets taken in drug seizures, that's with the county task force, goes to DA Salavantes' office.
Okay.
And then what she does is she funds operations here that are, you know, when we do drug buys, we do undercover operations, stings, keeping people out in the street. She funds all those overtime salaries with that money, vehicles, equipment, things that we need to continue in the drug.
You would hope you wouldn't
enforcement
have
area.
that money
Right.
because you're busting people from drugs. Okay.
Sure.
Technology. How has technology played a major part in keeping crime down in the city?
Again, another grant. We have 3. Actually, we have the entire fleet now fully equipped, including my car, with tough pads. On those tough pads, route your call. Call comes in, I can see the call on the screen, I can hit route your call, takes me there directly to the call. Kicks the GPS, can see where my other police cars are, can see where the ambulances are, can see anything that I need to see.
Why is that important?
Because I need to know where my other car is, my backup. I may need to know where a car is. If somebody just yelled over the radio, I need help, and now he doesn't say the address or she doesn't say the address, I can look and see where that person is. Okay, so I can see where all our cars are. It's also, you know, allows me to know where it's being patrolled throughout the city. It's an accountability module. In addition to that, we can silent dispatch to each other if we have a special assignment we're on. We don't want somebody to hear it. We can communicate with each other and the communication center. Mapping has crime mapping on it. We can get cameras. We can do anything we have to do because now we have this state-of-the-art technology right in our car with our keyboards, reports, accidents, electronic citations with printers. Everything's all at your fingertips, so you don't have to sit in the station and come back now for 3 hours
Great.
to do your paperwork.
Exactly.
Can do it right in the car.
Yeah. Now, when the last time I was in your office and we talked, I saw that you
Yes.
showed me on the screen.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you had mentioned at one time where you were putting certain cameras or detectors that if a shot was fired.
Correct.
Okay. Is that in effect?
Believe it or not, I just got off the phone with ShotSpotter today. I asked to set up a meeting with the county manager, the county communications center manager, and also with the DA's office to see, and maybe Wilkes-Barre, because we've done things together, to see if we could get ShotSpotter, because it goes into the communication center. And the way it works is, if there was a gunshot in the front of this location right now, what would happen is every patrol car in the city of Hazleton, every police officer in the city of Hazleton would see a map pop up, would hear the gunshot, a camera would stream down and show that you're running from the scene before anybody gets to call 911.
So you have to have strategic cameras around the area, right?
This place is already mapped out. They've already been here.
Well, we already have cameras here.
Right, but they've already mapped it out with their cameras. So it's infrared, it's in the night, it's a ShotSpotter. Fireworks don't set it off. They come up and gauge, they actually calibrate it with actual real live ammunition.
Amazing.
And then, like I said, shot goes off out in front, camera zooms down right on the person who's doing it, shows you exactly where it's happening.
Let's assume there's a fight at a whatever, and a person gets stabbed.
Correct.
Okay, he gets stabbed. Someone goes to 911, says, "Look, there's been a stabbing here at XYZ Street. I don't know, okay, etc." What happens when that 911 call is called in? There's a stabbing or someone reports it. Now, I'm going to retract here. Do they go for 911 or do they dial directly to the police department?
No, they go directly to county communications.
911.
Yeah, they dial 911. And 911 here in Luzerne County is by far way up here. They are unbelievable. The communication center, the technology, them integrating, they were able to give us, they gave us for 15 tough pets free the licensing. You know, they gave us the electronic citation, the Metro Alert, all of the things we needed. So there's a true partnership there with the county, and they do a phenomenal job. You know, they're a lot of times the unsung heroes because they're the ones that are in the background that are our lifeline.
So how long after that phone call is put to 911? There's a stabbing here on XY Street. There's the person's down. How long?
Extremely quick, because what happens is the second you dial 911, a call taker's taking it and already putting it into the radio dispatcher.
Okay.
So we now have it in our car. So we're already seeing it before it's even being dispatched.
So within minutes, there's some kind of action going on.
Sometimes seconds.
Well, that's fantastic. So that's what
response time is
great.
great.
So if someone
with
sees
technology.
anything happening, okay,
Yes.
they should hit 911.
Absolutely.
All right, now we have this. I hear this one's Sammy. They're pushing drugs on this street every
Correct.
night. Okay, I mean you can see them coming up. The guy's standing out there. They come to the window, etc. Okay, so when that person,
That's a different deal.
Okay.
You don't want to call 911 because a uniformed car is going to have a tough time getting in there.
Okay. So what do I do when I know there's activity, but I don't want to become involved?
You either go to hazeltonpolice.com and hit submit a tip. 24 hours a day, a detective will answer you and go back and forth with you. Or you can go to our app, which is TipSoft by Public Engines.
It's called TIF?
TipSoft by Public Engines.
Okay.
You download the app from Public Engines for TipSoft.
Now, folks, I'm going to tell you, that's an app you should definitely get along with our SSP TV app, okay? You have that app. You don't know where you could be, okay, and something happens, go over to that app, and you can get...
Second you get a TipSoft app, what happens with it is you end up having now an app on your phone. So now you want to report drug activity?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Let it continue. Press the app.
Yeah.
Now the app pops up.
Yeah.
It asks you the address. It asks you the type of crime you want to prevent or from occurring, or it is occurring.
Okay.
You put drug dealing. You could put anything you want. Stolen cars.
Right.
It'll get, or you could write what you want. Then it asks you color. You can upload a picture if you want. You can send anything you want. Now, when you hit send, what happens is within 2 seconds, it goes to Canada. It strips your identity, and it gives you a random number, and you'll always be that number. So it may make you number 112. So now I'm on the other end, the police officer that monitors it, goes into our computer and it goes off, tip. I look, I get to see exactly what you sent, the picture, the tech. And then guess what? I can go back and forth. Well, is it a blue car? Is it the one next to the house?
Fabulous.
We can go back and forth through Canada without ever having to give your identity.
See, Jerry, that's where that prevention comes in.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine if someone's seeing something going on and they suspect something, all they do is hit that app, see what's going on. I mean,
seconds.
even while the activities are going on, maybe you can just have a patrol car run by or et cetera.
Absolutely.
Folks, I'm talking to Jerry Speziale. He's the police chief of Hazleton. And we're running this show in all market areas just so you have an understanding that what police work is all about. Now, again, with all due respect to Wilkes-Barre and Scranton and Pottsville, have great police departments, okay? And I have to compliment 2 district attorneys. District Attorney Christine Holman from Schuylkill County, who has been absolutely fantastic coming on the show, reporting everything that's happening in District Attorney Salvanis, okay? She's been great. I talked to her about heroin. I want to talk to you when I come back. Folks, we'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. 24/7 SSPTV.com, and folks, download our app, SSPTV. Just search SSPTV. Watch all of our shows. Jerry Speziale, Police Chief of Hazleton, is my guest. Jerry, once again, you got to work with people. I mentioned the 2 district attorneys that are Christine Holman and Salvanis doing a fabulous job. Your heroin situation in Hazleton, what's going on? You got about 2 minutes.
I've seen a decline in overdoses. I've definitely seen a decline in overdoses. I think that's by the stepped up enforcement with our narcotics division and the patrol division. I think the message that we're out there and that there's a zero tolerance has definitely sent a message to people, not that less people are using heroin, the fact that don't come to Hazleton and use heroin because you're gonna have a problem. Heroin is a national problem. It's not a Hazleton problem. Yeah. It's not a Pennsylvania problem. This is a national issue. It transcends across all lines, social, it really does. Families, it doesn't matter who you are. But our heroin problem, the overdoses, I definitely see a decline, but we have to do more. My officers all carry Narcan in the car so they can reverse an overdose. But what are we doing? We usually bring them to the hospital, leave them off, and then they come out of there and do what they want. You can't.
Jerry, I think in any area, education.
Absolutely.
In which the police department does, and I had Dave Pedri, the Luzerne County Manager, on the show, and here again, that's his main thing is educate. Folks, my guest, Jerry Speziale, the Police Chief of Hazleton. The topic of the show is Hazleton Safe. Here again, we see a lot of things happening, a lot of great things. The cops are hitting the streets, and things are only getting better. So, but most importantly, support them. Be open to them. You see anything happen, get that app. What's it called?
It's called Public Engines Tip Soft.
Public Engines Tip Soft.
Correct.
We'll see you next time.